and now we've got the circle eights and the loop moves.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find your experience of teaching those to people who have not learned figures first?
Well, you really have to start at the beginning and just start with learning the actual turns and explaining it. I find that it's very hard for them to learn what the difference on brackets and rockers and counters, and they get really confused.
Yes.
Where when you did figures, you did it day after day after day for hours, and for me, I just do a bracket. I know
Right.
what it is, and that's a hard concept to teach, but I just take it all the way down to just learning the turns. Same thing with loops, just learning how to press on the edges and control the edges and not skate fast into them.
Right.
Those kind of things.
Do you find that there's a difference in the way that when you do those moves or you do those turns, you have a certain way of positioning yourself over the blade, of establishing good posture that is trained through many, many years of doing figures at a high level, but also just having done it for so many years, a certain kind of upright positioning over the blade, a certain kind of use of the core muscles to establish a steady edge?
Well, it's really easy to kind of gloss over that and kind of learn a rocker or a counter or a bracket, but you're not really getting the real result. If you really look at the ice, you're not seeing the edges. So, and I think it's really important for the kids to learn how to do it. It's not only good for their edge work and their turns, but it's actually easier to do it correctly once you know how to do it. It's not easier to learn it correctly necessarily. Right. So I take it back to the basics, and we work on usually littler circles, and just working the concepts of the check, the free leg position, keeping their hips underneath them, because it's really easy on rockers and counters to just kind of swing your free leg and bend forward and not use your knee bend and not stand up straight. But really, I mean, especially for the new IJS step sequences, it's really important to learn how to do the turns correctly, because some of these features are hard to do if you don't do them correctly.
That's right. Yeah, they won't get the credit.
They don't get the credit on the turns. It's hard to do the 1 foot feature if your hips are not underneath you, if you're not aligned. You can't use the edges, you can't do the turns. So it's important to just break it down and really work on it like that. And then as part of the moves in the field, applying those concepts as well.
But I am going to bring this back then to the figures class, because, for example, my class in the summer, the kids wear their freestyle skates. We have a mix, like you, of adults and children. And so it's rather inexact compared to when we were being judged, where the judges were on the ice inspecting our turns and things. But I do find that when the students repeat the class numerous summers, that they do start to get this sense of circle, sense of space, sense of axis, sense of balance. And it does assist them quite a while down the road.
Yes, and it does show up in the free skating. It really shows up in the edge control and the step sequences, and even just controlling the edges into spins or into jumps. It's, being able to perform these elements is not just luck. Right. It's all muscle memory and technique and edge control, and that is definitely assisted by doing catch. So, I mean, hopefully other rinks are some way incorporating some sort of figures. It's
some type of experience
for it.